Well, everyone, I survived the bomb cyclone, which hit Colorado a few days ago. Um, it shut down a few roads, took down some power lines, took down some trees, fences, and trapped a lot of people in their homes, including myself. And I was really sad that I was not able to get to the comic book store because I thought Detective Comics 1000 came out last Wednesday, but I actually just went to the store yesterday and found out that it actually comes out this Wednesday. So that's kind of cool. And that gives me more time to uh, catch up to issue 1000 with these reviews. Here's 998. I'm like halfway through it. But yeah, once I finish that, I'll review that one and then 999, and then I should be set for issue 1000. So this is Detective Comics 997, and it's a pretty interesting cover. He's all chained up, and he looks like he's wearing Mr. Miracle's mask, kind of. So in the last issue, Batman, after visiting that ninja temple, decided to visit Thaddeus in his desert home. And as soon as he landed, basically the desert, or at least part of the desert, like floor, the ground, just literally turned upside down. And now we see what happened after that happened. So anyway, they wake up, Batman, and Thaddeus, who is an escape artist, one of the greatest escape artists this world's ever known, who taught Batman and Mr. Miracle everything he knew. They're both trapped, and there's water that's rising. Soon it'll be above their heads, and they are surrounded by man-eating sharks. So this again is continuing the mythology story arc by Peter J. Tomasi, and one thing I've really noticed with this arc is that Tomasi is really bringing in a lot of classic kind of pulp fiction, real classic dire situations that heroes find themselves in. Of course, in this case, they're trapped, they're chained up, and they're in water surrounded by sharks. You know, it's a very classic scenario, but it's cool because I think even though it's something that we've seen a lot before and it's kind of a cliche, Tomasi still finds a way to make it fresh and exciting. So basically the whole first half of the book is Batman figuring out how he's going to escape. Thaddeus is hurt and he's bleeding a little bit, so the sharks are zeroing in on him. And somehow they got Batman's utility belt off, which, depending on the story, if anybody but Batman tries to take it off, it'll automatically explode because only Batman knows how to take it off correctly. I always thought that was a little, I don't know. It's like, I think Batman would rather lose his utility belt than his life. So I think it's better when it's more just something that can be taken off. And my favorite look of the utility belt is when it's kind of got the belt buckle on the front. If I find a picture or something, I'll show it in another video or something like that, but obviously I can't in this one. Actually, hold on, maybe, okay, I can, never mind. So I'll show you in just a minute what I'm talking about. But anyways, even though his utility belt is gone, whoever trapped Batman and Thaddeus decided to leave Batman's cape and cowl on, and that's enough for Batman to escape. Apparently his I guess you would say his ears can act as projectiles, and he's able to aim it and shoot the shark right in the eye, which I think is cool. Of course, the one thing about this whole scenario, of course, is it is far-fetched. But I mean, that's the nice thing about comics, is it doesn't have to be realistic at all. Anything can happen, even if it's like super cliche or super convenient. You can still enjoy this story even though those types of things happen. So he shoots the shark in the eye, the shark starts bleeding, and he then is able to take out another shark by running his glove scallops against its soft underbelly. So now 2 sharks are bleeding. And it's actually good timing because the door opens up behind them, and out swim a big horde of piranhas. So it's just one, super dangerous sea creature after another. And because of the sharks already being bloody, the piranhas go after them first. And this part was a little gross, but also kind of cool. They start tearing up the sharks, and Batman's able to secure a piece of shark meat in his teeth, and he's able to drop it, which I guess the meat would be heavy enough to sink. I'm not really sure. But anyway, he drops it right near his leg straps, and as the piranhas go to eat the meat, they also chew through the leather, freeing Batman's feet. So, again, yes, is it very unlikely, very, I don't know, it's crazy? Sure. But, I mean, it's Batman. He's supposed to be able to find his way out of literally anything, and he does this one, he gets out of this without very much effort, honestly. And, again, it's just showing Batman's brilliant mind, even if it seems super convenient. Who would think of grabbing a piece of shark meat and throwing it down near the bootstraps? I mean, it's just stuff like that that I enjoy about Tomasi's writing. So then he's able to swim a little bit and get into position so Thaddeus can chew through the straps around his hands. And now Batman is free. And as soon as he gets free, Thaddeus actually loses consciousness because he can't breathe. And so Batman grabs him, cuts him loose, and brings him up to the surface. But as soon as they get to the surface, they're confronted by this thing. So in pretty much every issue, we've seen some kind of monster. And I think the whole point of this arc is to find out who is sending these monsters and why they are targeting people from Batman's past. Batman kind of already knows who's being targeted. He knows that it's people from his past that made him into Batman, but he's not really sure why yet, and he's not really sure who. So this is the utility belt I was talking about. So apparently this creature is the one that took the utility belt. This design of the utility belt I think is really cool when it's actually like pouches. Sometimes the buckle will actually look more like a belt buckle, and I think that's my absolute favorite, but this one's also cool too, where it's just like the plate. So yeah, this is pretty close to my favorite design of the utility belt. So anyway, then he starts beating up the monster, and for just escaping certain death by sharks and being underwater for that long, he's still kicking butt, which I think Batman would be able to. It's Batman. And this part I thought was cool. So the creature says, I can take everything, all of it in a blink of an eye. I know all your secrets, all your fears. And Batman says, you forgot about my hopes and dreams. So that's kind of cool that that's what's driving him here. And he starts, I don't know how this creature really works, but it's like he can make part of himself look like people. I don't really know. But anyway, Batman starts being attacked by the creature who now looks like his mom and dad. Then switches into people he hates, like the person who killed them, and then there's people he loves, like Alfred and Tim Drake, Nightwing. But Batman's just fighting all of them. You know, he knows it's a trick, and eventually he fights through all of them. Finally, getting the upper hand, and then he forces the creature down into the swarm of piranhas who are still swarming. Apparently, the shaft that Batman went up, the piranhas now have gone up too. Anyway, so the monster's completely destroyed by the piranhas and is defeated. And then we got a little bit of dialogue between Thaddeus and Batman. Just basically Thaddeus saying, I wish I was young again, and it'd be cool to join you on this mission, but Batman tells him, sorry, this time it's a solo mission. And then we get to this laboratory. Kind of looks like Arkham Asylum, but I don't think it is. Then we see Hugo Strange working on something. He's, for whatever reason, dressed in a Batman costume. Batman bursts in, and we get this really cool shot of Batman just, man, he's coming after him. I really like the lightning in the background there, and Batman just calling out Strange. That's really cool. So anyway, that was a exciting issue, kept you entertained with the sharks and everything. Didn't really find out much about the mystery, except that Batman is now suspecting Hugo Strange. So yeah, we'll find out what happens in the next issue. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.